how you find the derivative of an inverse trig function. So for the first example of arcsine, you use the formula u prime over the square root of 1 minus u squared. So for this, I'm going to do y prime equals 1/2 over square root of 1 minus 1/2 x squared. Now to simplify it, so y prime equals 1/2 over square root of 1 minus 1/4 x squared. Now to simplify it one more time, y prime equals 1 over 2 times 1 minus, the square root of 1 minus 1/4 x squared. So that's arcsine. Now I'm going to show you arctangent. So for this one, it is y prime equals 1/3 x, because I'm using the formula of u prime over 1 plus u squared. So the 1/3 x over 1 plus 1/3 x squared. Now to simplify, so y prime equals 1/3 x over 1 plus 1/9 x squared. Now to simplify one last time, so y prime equals x over 3 plus 1/3 x squared. So that's arctangent. Now I'll show you a couple other examples. Okay, so for arcsecant equals, use the formula of u prime over the absolute value of u times the square root of u squared minus 1. So just for a little background knowledge, the absolute value is equal to the square root of something squared. So say it was -2. So if you squared that, it would be 4. Then if you took the square root of 4, it would be 2. So that's how you find the absolute value. So y prime equals 5 over 5x absolute value times the square root of 5x squared minus 1. Okay, now to simplify. So y prime equals 5 over, so I'm going to simplify the absolute value, so that would be square root of 25x squared times simplified 25x squared is 5x squared is 25x squared minus 1. Now I'm going to multiply these together. So y prime equals 5 over square root of 625x to the 4th minus 25x squared. So that's secant, arcsecant. Now I'm going to show you arccosine. So for arccosine, you use the formula -u prime over square root of 1 minus 2 squared. Well, that's the same formula as arcsine, except you add a negative to the front. And it's the same thing for arccotangent and arccosecant as arctangent and arcsecant. You just add the negative to the front of it. So for arccosine, so y equals arccosine times 5x squared. So now, to find the derivative, so y prime equals -5x over square root of 1 minus 5x squared squared. So now this becomes y prime equals negative 5x over square root of 1 minus 25x to the fourth. Now I'm going to show you our cotangent. Y equals our cotangent times 1/4 x squared. So now to find the derivative, it's y prime equals negative 1/2 x over 1 plus 1/4 1/4 x squared squared. So now to simplify, so y prime equals negative 1/2 x over 1 plus 1/16 x to the fourth. Now to simplify it one more time. So it'd be y by bringing down the 2. So y prime equals negative x over 2 plus 1/4 x to the fourth. Now I'll show you our cosecant. So y equals our cosecant times 4x squared. So y prime equals negative 8x over absolute value of 4x squared square root of 4x squared squared minus 1. So next, I'll simplify it by simplifying the bottom. So y prime equals negative 8x over square root of 16x to the fourth times square root of 16x to the fourth minus 1. Then I'll simplify by multiplying these together. So y prime equals negative 8x over square root of 256 x to the 8th minus 16 x to the fourth. And that is how you do the derivative of an inverse tangent, or inverse trig functions.